Daz Studio patrons. I want to thank you for joining me. I am not from this world, and this is my tutorial page. Now, it has been a little while since I posted, and I do apologize. My life right now is crazy. In a week, I'm going to be going out of the country, and then I've got a wedding to go to. Not my wedding, but another wedding. And so the month of March is going to be very busy, but once April comes, my life settles down, and I should get back to a more routine schedule of posting. I want to thank everyone for joining me, and please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and give me some comments. Now, today I'm finally going to address a question that's been asked a couple times by Scale AE 8008, and he says, maybe a video about how to use bright light or light in bright rooms, how to get a sharp face, how to add light. Now, it is true that using a bright scene can be very challenging. And so I don't know, Scale, if I'm going to really answer your question, but I'm going to show you at least where to go to play around with some settings within Daz Studio. So if I take Milica here, and yes, I do use Milica's appeal to promote my channel. I mean, look at her. How can you not want to promote this? Anyway, hey everyone, I know she's not real, okay? But she is the hottest woman I have ever seen in my life for a CGI character, okay? Let's face it. Anyway, let's get into this. So if I go to iRay View, I have mentioned this before in a video called tone mapping, but because it's hard to just judge what that video is about, let's call this video dealing with brightness. And if you notice, this is a really bright scene. And if I go to render settings, let's select environment. And you can see I'm in sun and sky only, because if I zoom out, you're going to see that Milica is in a bedroom that is open. So there's a lot of light coming in, and I agree, it's very bright. However, I can adjust the amount of light by going to tone mapping here within the render settings. And there are some different things I can do. What you might be interested most in, Scale, is exposure value. So this exposure value right now is set to 14. But if I lower that number, it's going to get brighter. So let's say I lower it to 10, which is actually going to be quite a big difference. You can see Milica is going to be completely bleached out. And so this is going to brighten it by lowering the exposure value. And then again, it was at 14. If I raise it, let's say to 18, I'm going to lower that exposure value within Daz Studio. So you can play with that. I think for this, I have it set at 14. And I liked that as far as looking at Milica. Now the background is very bright. And if I don't like that, I have used a little trick in the past. And I'll show you that as well. You can select this wall. And if you don't like how bright the wall is, just go to your surface tab here, select the wall. This is wall 4. Go to the base, and then the base color is just white. So I can take this base color and drop it down a couple notches. Now that not only knocks the brightness down for the entire render, but it's gonna keep this brightness for Milica at a higher level. So see, then if I want to make her brighter, I could drop this down to maybe a 13. And see, we've got her bright and then the background is darker. So you just kind of have to play with those settings. Another thing under this tone mapping is the film ISO, and if you raise it, you'll make the scene brighter, and if you lower it, you can make the scene darker. So that film ISO is also an option for you. I would just suggest you just kind of play around with it until you get what you like. All right, Scale, I hope that gives you some ideas about what you can do. Hit me up if you have any more questions, but this is how I kind of deal with things that are too bright or too dark, rather than messing with the entire light system. If you like how your lights are set up, just start playing with your tone mapping, and that should help. All right, thank you for watching. I will be back soon, and until then, happy rendering, and have a great rest of your weekend.